My brother gambled with Grandpa's life to fuel his gaming addiction, so I made sure he lost everything. My brother Pao hasn't left our parents' basement since he flunked out of high school, except for his GameStop shifts that he skips half the time to play video games. Within a week of returning, he'd claimed the entire basement as his streaming studio, where he'd sit in his crusty boxers from noon to 4 a.m. with his gaming chair while he screamed racial slurs at teenagers. He'd bang on the ceiling when Mom's footsteps were too loud during his raids, and text her from downstairs to bring him more Hot Pockets, because walking up 14 steps would ruin his kill streak. The entitlement started small, but multiplied faster than his Reddit karma. First, it was the chore list he made for me at family dinners that detailed why I should clean his basement. When I started taking care of Grandpa every morning before my shifts, he called a family meeting about how unfair it was that I got to hogging all the inheritance. Meanwhile, he was building his Twitch empire to his 11 subscribers. On Grandpa's 85th birthday, I mentioned his $3,200 monthly railroad pension during cake, but Pow's eyes locked onto that number like a rare achievement unlocked. Within 3 days, he'd convinced our parents that Grandpa needed masculine energy in his care, and I was too hysterical and emotional to handle money properly. When I showed them Grandpa's medication schedule I'd maintained for 2 years, Pao said I'd been stealing pills to sell at the hospital. Dad just nodded while Mom whispered that maybe this responsibility would finally help Pao grow up. The breaking point came one day during my lunch break, because that's when I found Grandpa unconscious on Pao's basement floor. He was lying in his own waste, dehydrated, with bed sores forming, while Pao had been at a gaming convention for 4 days straight. Grandpa's pills were scattered everywhere because Pao had been using the pill organizer as a chip bowl, and the only food in reach was an open bag of Doritos and flat Mountain Dew. When I called 911, Pao texted me 47 times, calling me a jealous bitch who was trying to steal his caregiving career. Then our parents appeared at the hospital, and I waited for them to finally see the truth. But instead, Mom started crying about how I was sabotaging Pao's first real job. Dad chimed in and accused me of elder abuse for taking Grandpa without Pao's permission. When I begged them to look at Grandpa's condition, Mom just shook her head and said I'd never understand because I didn't have children. Pao said the words that changed everything. If you can't support your family's success, then you're not welcome in this family. Stay away from my patient. Dad's firm handshake with Pao felt like a knife as they banned me from both Grandpa's room and their house until I could apologize for my jealousy. After sobbing in my car for an hour in the hospital parking lot, I remembered the lockbox Grandpa had given me years ago. Between his military medals and old photos, I found papers that made my hands tremble. A medical power of attorney from 2019, signed after Pao stole and crashed Grandpa's Buick during a shiny Pokemon emergency. The document gave me full medical and financial control over Grandpa's care, witnessed by his lawyer and notarized properly. I spent 3 days gathering evidence of Pao's neglect and financial abuse, all while planning everything for the following Friday when Pao would be at TwitchCon trying to network with real streamers. The police and adult protective services arrived at 2 p.m. while Pao was live streaming to his 12 viewers, ranting about fake gamer girls ruining the industry. His chat watched in real time as officers asked about the $47,000 in pension money spent on gaming equipment, cryptocurrency, and something called waifu collectibles. I presented the power of attorney documents while paramedics prepared to transport Grandpa to the Veterans Care Center I'd selected. Pao barricaded himself in his gaming chair, screaming that this was targeted harassment of gamers and probably illegal discrimination. He called me the C word so many times that the officers added verbal assault to his charges. The best part was when they cataloged his setup as evidence, and he cried actual tears when they unplugged his RGB keyboard. 6 months later, Pao's living on Mom and Dad's couch because his basement is still sealed as evidence. I thought I won, until my card declined buying chips. Every card was declined. My phone exploded with notices, eviction, repo, collections, 3 months of bills I'd never seen. My phone rang. Hey sis, Pao's voice oozed. Funny how karma works. Full story on channel, link below.